Why is Charitropakhyan needed? Because if you're going to do Katha of Amrit, you need to do Katha of what Jad is as well. Otherwise, the understanding of what Amrit is will not come to you. We will not understand what Amrit is without describing what Jad is. You cannot understand what immortality is without describing what death is. You cannot understand the peaks of the mountain if you do not understand the lowest depths of the mountain as well. You need to know that if the highest avastha of a spiritual being is what? A gurmukh, right? Then what is the lowest avastha of a spiritual being as well? How low can you go? You need to know that as well. This is the katha of the lowest side. Welcome back to the next episode in Demystifying Sri Charitropakhyan. Today we'll be going into the 13th Charitra, which is the 12th tale of this series. Previously we saw how Guru Sahib invoked the story of Krishna and Radhika to enforce a spiritual message, a tradition that has been carried out by many spiritual beings throughout the years. Now Guru Sahib will be continuing the stories presented by the mantris to the king Charitr Singh. In this tale, we start off by seeing the mantris. They advise the king, they share another tale with the king, and the king responds to this tale with an expression. Sunat siis Raja Tunyo Rahyo Mon Mukthan. Guru Sahib says that after hearing the story, which we're going to listen to in a bit, Raja Charitr Singh shook his head. Tunyo means to shake. Siis means head. The Raja shook his head in a way of showing, and then also Mon Mukthan. He also became quiet. Chup ho gaya. In a way of showing how this story will make us shake our head in almost disgrace of how these beings are interacting in their relationships. How these characters are interacting with their relationships. So in this tale, there is a character, Guru Sahib explains, whose name is Padua. Padua is a male figure. And within this village, there is also a lady, a female named Geni. And the mantris say, Hamre Gao, which means that these characters live in my village. So in Samprada, in older traditional schools of thought, in older traditions, this Charitra is explained to be taken place in Anandpur Sahib. Because when they're saying Hamro Gaon, Guru Sahib is the one who's putting words into the mouth of the mantris, right? For that reason, it's believed that Guru Sahib is talking about their own pind, meaning their own shad, Anandpur Sahib, where this Bani is taking place. So these two characters are living there, a female named Geni and a male named Padua. Then we're introduced to a third character whose name is Ramdas. Ramdas is the husband of Geni. But Ramdas often travels because of work and for other reasons. Therefore, he's not home. So Geni will use his time, use that as an opportunity to meet someone named Padua, who might be her boyfriend or someone who she's committing adultery with behind the back of her husband, whose name is Ramdas. So Guru Sahib says, Nan hot utth jaat teh sabay dopahri hoye. Whenever it was the pad da sama, meaning whenever there was new time, she'll get up and go take a shower in the river. And right after, she'll go meet her boyfriend Padua. One day, as she goes to the house of Padua, she didn't realize or she didn't know beforehand, but Padua had expected guests that day. He had many guests over, many people over his house. Unknowingly, Geni enters the house, only to find herself face to face with all these different people. Now Geni's very surprised, but at the same time, she's very scared as well. She's worried, she's concerned. She doesn't want the word to get out that she's cheating on her husband. And oftentimes this is the case, right? People who cheat, they don't want their partners to realize. Why? Because there's still something they're receiving from their partner that they don't want to sacrifice. Or they're too afraid of the badnami that would happen. Badnami meaning the disgrace that would happen on their name. Yeah. So when she realized there's people there, right away, right away she said these words. She says, she looks around, she says, oh, is my husband here? Ramdas, is my husband here? My husband who is Pati Parmeshwar. Guru Sahib says, Mere Pata Parmeshwar. Oh, that Ramdas is my Pati Parmeshwar. She's lying to cover up her lie. Yeah? She's trying to justify her lie by spreading more lies, right? She's trying to give this false illusion of how she thinks of her husband. If she were to really think of her husband as Pati Parmeshwar, then this would not even be happening, right? But she presents this lie, right? And she says, if he's here, please let me know. Everyone looks around, they're like, we don't know who Ramdas is, we don't know who this person is you're looking for. And she pretends to be very chinta. She pretends to have chinta on her face, she pretends to have worry, anxiety on her face, and she walks out, right? Once everyone leaves the house, she watches, monitors the house. Once everyone leaves the house, she comes back. Turat on, right away. Te taso rami. Man mein pai nisog. Right away, she comes back to the house and she indulges in making love with the man Padua. Yeah. And then once she's done there, she comes back home and pretends like nothing ever happened. Yeah. And this is where the tale ends. The mantris then advise the king. They say, look, did you see how clever a woman can be? You know, it's not to say that a man can't be clever. It's not to say that a man can't make a deception as well, right? But it's just that this is being advised to a male. Raja Charitr Singh is a male, right? So he's being told from the male perspective, right? They're saying, look, kyaso hi put janako chatur kyaso hoye. You can be as smart as you like. You can be as clever as you like. Charitra chaturya triyan ko paye sakta nahi koi. But you'll never be more smarter than a woman. You'll never be more smart than a female, right? And it's showing the counterpart to a male. It's showing that a male's biggest enemy could be a female, and a male's biggest strength could be a female as well. Yeah, that's not to forget that we are right now focusing on the lowest. Yeah, look, if you were to do katha of the highest thing, if you were doing katha of the mountains, right? Why is Charitropakhyan needed? Why is Charitropakhyan needed? Because if you're going to do katha of Amrit, you need to do katha of what Jad is as well. Otherwise, the understanding of what Amrit is will not come to you. We will not understand what Amrit is without describing what Jad is. You cannot understand what immortality is without describing what death is. Yeah, you cannot understand the peaks of the mountain if you do not understand the lowest depths of the mountain as well. Yeah, you need to know that if the highest avastha of a spiritual being is what? A gurmukh, right? Then what is the lowest avastha of a spiritual being as well? How low can you go? You need to know that as well. This is the katha of the lowest side. Yeah. So Raja Charitr Singh is being told, yeah, that if your biggest strength could be a woman, your biggest loss can be a woman as well. Yeah. She has the ability, and if she is going to play that role with you, if she's going to be deceptive with you, if she's going to disguise herself as someone else, portray herself to be someone else, but internally have harvest different type of opinions, right? Different type of plans, different type of scenarios in our mind against you, that you need to understand that you will never be able to defeat her in terms of cleverness. You'll never be able to outsmart her, because just naturally she'll be smarter than you. Yeah, she'll be smarter than you. That's why they, at the very end, the mantris advise the king. They say, "Jo nar apno chit ko triya kor det banaye." If someone were to be open with the female in their lives, then jara tahe joban hara. They'll take away your youth and hit you with old age. What that means is that your life will flash amongst your eyes, yeah, and you will never know. Just like Ramdas, he didn't know what was happening behind his back. She came back home, Geni came home pretending nothing ever happened. But Ramdas, little did he know what was going on behind his back, right? And in the same way, the name represents a certain quality as well, right? Ramdas, Ram meaning Paramatma, right? Das meaning the slave, the servant of Paramatma, the Bhagata Paramatma. Guru Sahib is saying that the Bhagata Paramatma could be doing the most purest things, but behind their back, all this could be unfolding and they will never know, right? So they're making a suchet, right? And yes, this is being told to a male, but you can, if you're a female, you can inverse the story and take it towards yourself, right? That you should be careful with which male you trust as well, right? Just because there's a special person in your life now doesn't mean that you should give them all the information right away, right? Like we discussed before, when people are first meeting each other, they don't reveal their bank accounts, they don't reveal their social security numbers, right? It takes time to develop that trust, yeah. And this is what the mantris are trying to advise the king, that this is not something you should just you should not be giving away all your secrets to the woman in your life, speaking about the Rani, the queen, the princess that he had brought over. So Satsangaji, this is where the Charitre 13 ends. I'll look forward to seeing the next episode. Bol Joka Nikhima Bakshni ji, Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh.